to point number 5 or tip number 5. Nurture relationships with complementary brands, okay? And the top compliments go a long way. So, you know, I'm not telling you guys to kiss anyone's butt or go overboard, but when you say nice things on social media, it really goes a long way, okay? As simply as, hey, you know, Jennifer, I really enjoyed that article you shared on Twitter. Great analysis. That's it, right? If you do that often enough, Jennifer is going to see these positive replies, comments coming from you, and those are going to grease the wheels for future communication. So what do I mean by that? Maybe Jennifer is targeting an audience or works in an industry that's complementary to your brand, okay? So maybe Jennifer works at a title company. Maybe you're a real estate agent, right? Maybe you guys could work together. But before you start blasting her with DMs on Twitter or Instagram saying, hey, you know, let's work together, let's do this, build a relationship with that person. A really good way to do that is to say nice things or compliment them because you pop up on their radar, right? If I'm Jennifer and someone is saying nice things, retweeting my content, liking it, sharing it, I'm gonna get a very warm, positive, fuzzy impression of that person. And when they finally DM me to say, hey, seems like you have a similar audience, or seems like we have some synergies in terms of business. Let's open a dialogue about a content partnership, or let's do an event together. Those wheels of communication have already been greased. So you're not just coming out of nowhere as a nobody stranger saying, hey, let's work together. This person knows who you are. They already have a positive impression of you. Leverage that, okay? So shout out people and brands creating great content and helpful resources. I already gave the example of a real estate agent. People remember social media accounts and engage with them. Once you've established a good rapport with an account, open a dialogue, okay? Look for opportunities to get your content in front of their audience and vice versa, right? You don't want to reach out to someone and try to create a relationship, whether it's content or an event, if you're not making it sound like a mutually beneficial relationship, right? Then it just sounds like, hey, can you do this for me? You have a lot of followers. Can you put my content in front of them? That's never going to work, okay? That's never going to work, trust me. When you reach out to these people, say, hey, you know, maybe we could benefit from each other. You know, my audience might like, I think my audience would really like your content, and I think your audience would really like my content. Let's talk about it, okay? Especially if they have a lot of followers and you don't, that's a really great opportunity to get some of their followers, right? Especially if you're tag teaming, you're doing, you know, a dual Instagram live with you and the other person or something like that. You can gain some of that person's followers. So remember that. The last part of this tip here, well, I've got one more slide after this, but the last part of this tip is, if you guys didn't know this, you can export every single one of your LinkedIn connections from LinkedIn, okay? So if you're looking to network with people and build relationships, this is a really great place to start, okay? So this screenshot shows you how to do that. If you're wondering, you go on LinkedIn, you go to settings, you go to privacy, and then in the submenu, you go to how LinkedIn uses your data, and you scroll down a little bit, and then it says, want something in particular? Select the data files you're most interested in. You want to check connections? You can get all of these things if you want, but what I'm talking about specifically is connections, okay? When you do this, you'll click Request Archive. LinkedIn will ask you to type in your password, and then it'll say, okay, great, we're compiling your archive. We'll send you an email link to download it. About 5 or 10 minutes later, maybe a little longer, LinkedIn will email you with a link. You click that link, it brings you back to LinkedIn, and it opens a dialog to download an Excel spreadsheet of all of your connections. So I hope you guys are understanding why this is a really good tactic to use, because this exported Excel spreadsheet of your connections includes their first name, their last name, their email address if they provide it, their company, their position, and the date you connected with them. So for example, I have over 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. Literally once a quarter, I go on LinkedIn and export all of my connections because I want a running list of everyone I'm connected with and I want to know what company they work for because people change jobs. I want to know what they do because I like to connect with decision makers like founders, CEOs, principals, partners, etc. And I want their contact info, definitely, if I'm going to do an email campaign, right? So awesome, awesome trick. Not even a trick, it's just a feature. But this feature, LinkedIn does not promote it. They don't tell you outwardly about it. It's relatively difficult to find. If you don't know about it, you probably won't see it. That's why I'm telling you about it now, okay?